Archie. How are you?
Good.
It's great to see you.
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
All righty. Yesterday we were talking about that idiom that every cloud has a silver lining and how this is about attitude. When we look at things that happen to us or things that happen in life, we can either just look at the problems and the bad things and complain and be upset. That would be having a negative attitude. Or we can say, you know what, this really isn't what I wanted. I'm not super happy about it. I might even be a little disappointed, but I can still look for some good things. I can still find some things to be grateful for, thankful for. That is having a positive attitude. That is looking for the silver lining in the cloud. And so here they are on the water, and these 5 kids are each in their own boat. And Morgan was having a negative attitude. We use this minus sign, just like on a battery, there's a minus sign at the end for the negative end. He was having a negative attitude and saying, man, there's no place for us to put a bed. Where are we going to sleep? But Ash was having a positive attitude. I use the plus, just like at the positive end of a battery, even though it's a different meaning of positive and negative. I still use minus, this minus sign to show negative, and a plus sign to show positive. And she says, well, the good news is there aren't any mobs, hostile mobs for us to worry about. So they kept going. There's Ash, and it looks to me like she has a fishing pole. So they traveled through the night, gliding onward by the light of the moon. When daylight had come again, okay, so now it's going to be morning again. So they traveled all night long. As soon as the sun came up and it's daylight again, so moonlight is at night and daylight is when the sun is up during the day. When daylight had come again, Morgan checked the map and he said, we still have a long way to go, he said. You know, it seems to me that Morgan is still being a little negative. Ash felt a desire to be useful. Useful means she wants to be able to do some things that help other people, that use her skills and abilities, things that she knows how to do, to use those skills to be helpful. She says, we may as well do some fishing, she suggested. Remember, this word suggested is a word that means said, but it's when you say something where you're saying what your idea is. You have an idea that you think might be helpful, and so you suggest it. You tell your idea. Then she says, who has the fishing rod? Now remember Poe, he's pretending to be a pirate. And remember that a pirate says, arr, matey. Well, here's the word matey. And he says, that'd be me, matey. Remember, we've learned that with an apostrophe D, this could mean did, had, or would. And for what he's saying, he's not saying that did be me or that had be me. He's saying that would be me. And he's getting rid of the W-O-U-L and just saying that, and then that'd. That's kind of an awkward thing to say, and we don't usually say it or write it, but he's trying to sound like a pirate. He's trying to sound funny. So he says, "That'd be me, matey," said Poe. He steered over to her and placed the rod in her boat. Harper had enchanted it. Enchanted usually means put a spell on it, something that brings in a little bit of magic. So it can do something special. So it was quite easy to use. Maybe all you have to do is just put it in the water and bing, you got a fish. I don't know what it means to enchant a fishing rod. Along with bread and apples, cooked fish had quickly become their main source of food. So they are eating a lot of bread, apples, and cooked fish. Raw fish would be fish that has not been cooked. So if you just take a fish out of the ocean and go, that would be raw fish. I don't know if I could do that. What do you think? Do you like your fish cooked or not cooked? I can't hear you.
Cooked.
Me too. Raw fish wasn't as filling, but it was better than nothing. That tells us that sometimes they did have raw fish. And Ash wanted to be sure that they had plenty to eat. She was a wildling scout. And here's her badge. You can see right here. Has the big W on it. Being a wildling scout, that meant she liked to be prepared for anything. A scout is someone who is good at camping, good at doing things outside, like hiking, canoeing, going exploring, reading maps, maybe being able to look at animal tracks on the ground and know which animal they are from, being able to look at the sky and see where the sun is and know how much daylight they have left, being able to look at the sky at night and see all of the stars, and find the North Star and kind of know what direction to go. They're very good at being explorers outside. They settled into a comfortable silence. A comfortable silence means nobody's talking, but it feels okay. It feels comfortable. It doesn't feel awkward or weird. They're not wondering, how come no one's saying anything? They're just all being quiet, but they're okay with that. And the sun moved steadily across the sky. Here's an interesting question for you, Archie. We talk about how the sun moves across the sky and the sun rises in the morning and the sun sets at night. And that helps us know that the time is moving on, right? It's we go from morning to noon to afternoon to evening. But is it really the sun that is moving, or is it the earth that is turning?
The earth is turning.
That's true. The earth is turning. The sun does not move. But when we are talking about
and all the planets are turning around the sun, and there's this earth and the moon are turning to us.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And the sun is turning in a galaxy, and the galaxy is turning in all the space. I go to school, the teacher tell me.
Oh, well, okay. It's a good thing that you go to school and learn this so that I can learn something from you.
We didn't feel how much we were going because all the things are moving around the same time. But do you know how much we are going?
How much?
6,000
Kilometers
in 10 seconds.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So let's finish this page. The days were short here and the nights were even shorter. They kept going. it looks here like we were talking about, there's the sun in the middle, and we can see some of the different planets that are going around the sun. The planet for the green line, that's the one closest to the sun, that's the planet Mercury.
Mercury
And the one in the
And-
blue line,
is Venus.
that's right. And the orange one is,
Earth,
yes, that's us. And the red one is,
Mars,
that's right. Very good.
and they have Jupiter and Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus,
Mhm.
and Neptune, Pluto.
Right.
This one has a sun.
Yes, this one shows.
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune,
Good.
Pluto.
Okay. On the fourth day, Poe cried, "Land ahoy!" That's what pirates would say when they see the land. Land ahoy! Ash turned her head to look where Poe was pointing. He was right. Land. Is that where we're headed, Morgan? She asked. Morgan was already consulting their map. That means he's looking at their map. No, he said, we still have a distance to go. The distance is how far you have to go from where you are to where you want to go. But I can see that landmass on the map. It's a small island. He shrugged. Remember, that's when you make your shoulders go up and down. He shrugged. Well, he thinks, we may as well check it out. I'd. You think this is I did, I had, or I would? I'd like to set up our beds.
I like to set up our beds.
Do you think this is I did, I would, or I had?
I would.
That's right. I would like to set up our beds and reset our spawn point. Now I need to talk about spawn point for a minute because this is a Minecraft word. So spawn point is where you can start, from. So let's say that they take off their VR headset and they go home, and the next day they come back to school and they put their VR headset on again and they go back into the game of Minecraft. They will start at wherever their spawn point is. That's the place where they will start. So if they don't reset it to where they are right now, and they left the game, took their headset off, go home, come back tomorrow, then they will come back into the game at where their last spawn point was. If their last spawn point was back on the beach when they were making the boats, then they are going to have to do the whole thing all over again of making the boats and crossing the ocean. So they don't want to have to do all of that traveling again. So they want to reset, that's this word here, that means set again, their spawn point. And then Harper adds, what are you doing? Harper says, we should probably disconnect soon anyway. Disconnect means stop the connection. That means take the VR headsets off, okay? They're about done. They've been remember, they were in their boats all night long. They have not even slept yet. So, however, I wonder at school if maybe only an hour has passed. I wonder if the time in the Minecraft world is the same as the time in the real world, because I bet if they're doing this from the school computer lab after school, I bet they only get to be in there for about an hour. But in the Minecraft world, they were on a boat all night long, right? For the whole night, and then the sun was coming up again. So I wonder how that time in the Minecraft world works. So Harper says, this is the longest we've been in the game without taking a break. Harper is excited to get to her homework, Jody teased. That's not true, Harper said, although tonight's long division worksheet does look, dun, 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 deliciously challenging. Okay, before we turn the page, I want us to take a look at this picture. So something that I know is that these things right here, I believe, are mushrooms. Do you know what a mushroom is?
And there's some mushrooms cow.
That's right. And so the mushroom cow is called a mooshroom. So we're going to be seeing them. So this is where they are arriving after being in their boats all night long. And they want to find a place here to set a new spawn point so that when they come back to the Minecraft world again, they can pick up where they left off here rather than have to start over again back on the beach. Now, this long division business, long division, I will show you what it looks like, but you do not do this in second grade, as far as I know. All right, so here's an example of what long division looks like. Are you ready? We could take a big number like, oh, give me a big number, over 100.
1,000.
1,000? Okay,
Yes.
and then we can divide it. See, like this, we'd say 1,000 divided by, okay, give me a smaller number.
100 million.
No, I need to be smaller than 1,000.
Or 1,000 million. The 100, 2,000, 200.
200?
Yeah.
How about 222?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so this is how we do that. We write it like this. Okay. Now let me get my eraser here and erase this. Okay. So then
I can't see.
oh dear, I can't either. What can we do?
What can I do?
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So long division would look like this. I would say, well, 222 cannot go into 1. It cannot go into 10. It cannot go into 100, but it can go into 1,000. How many times? And I would have to say, if I think it can go in 5 times, I need to double check. So I take 222 and I try doing it 5 times. 5 times 2, 5 times 2 is 10. And then I say 5 times 2, this 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. And then I say 5 times this 2 is also 10, plus 1 is 11. And then I look at my new number and I have 1,110. Well, that's too much. I can't go over 1,000. So 5 is too big. If you want me to show you long division, Archie, then you're going to have to stop covering up the page with red. So if 5 is too big, then I'm going to try 4. So let's see what 222 times 4 is. And I say 4 times 2 is 8. And this 4 times 2 is also 8.
888.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so 888 is going to go here. And then I will get rid of it here. So 4, that means I have 4 of these. Okay, I have one group of 222. I have another group of 222. I have another group of 222. And I have another group of 222. So I have 4 of those can go into 1,000. That makes 888. Well, how much will I have left over? Because it's only 888, but I have 1,000. So to see how much is left over, I subtract 888 from 1,000. That is a little bit tricky to do because we have all of those zeros, but we can do it. So first we say, well, there's a 0.
It's 222.
222? No, because then we'd be able to have 5 groups of 222. And we multiplied 5 times 222, and it was more than 1,000. So let's see. Well, there's nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. So we're going to have to borrow here from this 1,000. So let's see what happens. We make this a 0. And then, do you know how that works? This is going to become 9, 9, and this is going to be 10. So now we say 10 take away 8 is 2. And then we say 9 take away 8 is 1.
101. 100. Yeah.
Does that work? 112?
Yes.
Well, let's check that to make sure we're right. Let's take the 888 and let's add the 112. Okay, so 2 plus 8 is 10. And then this 8 and 1 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. And then this 8 and 1 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. And so look, we got 1,000. And so it worked. So 1,000, so now we can look and see 1,000 divided by 222 is 4, and there is 112 left over. Boy, that's a lot of work to do long division, isn't it? Okay, well, we are going to be stopping for today, but before we stop, let's take a look at some mushrooms. Here are many different kinds of mushrooms. There are many, many different kinds of mushrooms. These are mushrooms that we like to put in our salad and eat or use in our cooking. These mushrooms are called toadstools.
These have nothing.
What, you're going to tell me something about this mushroom?
These have poison.
They're poisonous?
Yes, my mom said.
Yeah, this mushroom looks kind of like this kind. I don't know.
Yes.
I can't quite tell if they look the same. I guess they don't quite look the same.
Yes, because one is white.
So here are many different.
And I love this one and this one and this one.
Do you like this one down here?
This one. Yes.
So you like mushrooms. They're very
Yeah.
healthy, although some are poisonous. So we do have to know the difference between the ones that are poisonous and the ones that are not.
Yes. What about me?
So
Yes, I like all of this. I like all of this.
remember, a mob can be either unfriendly, hostile, or it can be passive, which means it's just kind of there. And the Mooshroom is a mob that is passive. It is not anything they have to worry about. And here are 2 Mooshrooms from Minecraft.
No.
And there's a mushroom right here. All right, we are going to put our star right here. And I will say,
Salam.
Cheddar Chip.
Goodbye.
Hi, Archie.